guys, Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Turbo Fox Racers, and welcome back to a long-awaited series on the channel now. Welcome to Gran Turismo 7. Guys, I know obviously you guys have been waiting for this for a while. There's a few of you guys that have been commenting on my videos asking when the gameplay of GT7 will be on the channel. And now that we are finally done with Breaking Point 2 on F123, we are ready to jump into Gran Turismo 7. Now guys, for this video, the first few videos are going to be the daily online races. I love racing online on this game. It's a very stable game to race online, even though lag is an issue because, once again, South Africa, no South African servers, so it's kind of a pain in the booty. But the race you guys are going to be watching today is the daily race where everybody has the exact same car. And the car for last week was the Ferrari F40. Now, if you are any sort of car fanatic, there was a stage in your car fandom where you dreamt about the F40. This is just like the Eleanor Mustang Shelby. This is a car that every petrol head or car guy dreams about at a certain stage. And I don't know why, but for some other reason the road cars in Gran Turismo non-modified, I'm pretty pacey in them. So personally, I feel I'm better in Gran Turismo than on F1. A lot of you guys and gals are going to differ from me because you guys have seen so much more F1 gameplay from me. But when it comes to like actually measuring myself against other people around the world and online, and because literally everything in this game you do is measured against the worldwide audience, not the worldwide audience, the worldwide players, yeah, I am usually at worst like just outside the top 10,000 in the world. And I know you guys are like, but that is so far. Trust me, if you know how many people play this game, that is kind of good, and that is worst. Usually I hang between 2.5 and 7.5. I know that's a big jump. That's literally 5,000 people difference, but I really have to be super bad at a track with a car that I really suck at to be outside of the top 10,000. And this game has got millions and millions of players around the world. It's one of the most popular sim racing games in the world. Anybody knows Gran Turismo is a massive franchise and a massive petrol head gamer passion. There's people that are so passionate about this game, it's crazy. But guys, let's get into the video. So for those of you guys that don't know how this works, online there's races scheduled for every 20 minutes to half an hour. If you want to get into the races, you have to go into the race itself, and then before the race starts, there's usually a 15-minute timer countdown where you can do what I just did on screen. You can qualify, and you set a time, and then the people that match up into your lobby, the guy with the fastest time starts on pole, and then it goes like that. So you guys can see I'm currently on a 2-minute 7.4. The guy starting on pole is on a 2-minute 7.0. But as you guys saw on my fast lap, I had a 1 second slowdown penalty, which cost me about 3, maybe even 4 seconds. And what I loved about this race is it was a grid start like in F1. It was not a damn rolling start. That's the only gripe I have with Gran Turismo, is I do not like rolling starts. I prefer grid starts. It's a little bit more action-packed. It's a lot more fun. So, yeah. In any case, here we go. First race, 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go for the first race. And as you guys can see here, I actually get an absolutely amazing launch compared to the guy who was on pole position. And the thing is, launching on this game is a pretty tall task. I thought launching on F122 was hard. This game, oh my word, some of the cars just break traction completely and just smoke the wheels, well, smoke the tires, and other cars have grip and then the car just bogs. So the cars that bog, you really can't do anything about it. I mean, you literally rev them to the limiter and you let go of the handbrake or the brake and they still just freaking bog. But the cars that do spin, you want to start off the line with a little bit of wheel spin and then just try and manage it, and the driver that manages it the best is the driver that gets the best start. And between me and the other guy that was on the front row with me, I killed it off the line. And also, look guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is a very hard car to drive. It's very understeery, it's also very oversteery, so understeery on corner entry, super oversteery on corner exit if you've even got a slight bit of cornering and you're putting your foot to the floor. But it's still an amazing car and an awesome car to drive. I love the Ferrari F40, and Gran Turismo really encapsulates. Did I use that correctly? If I didn't, please let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds. Thank you very much. But back to the matter at hand. So, Gran Turismo really encapsulates this car so perfectly for me. It's what I would imagine it would feel like to drive this car in real life. It is still a stupid fast car. It sounds good with that high revving V8, and it's a Ferrari. It's a vintage Ferrari, but it's a Ferrari nevertheless. But as you guys can see through that downhill S section, the car just understeers like an absolute pig, and there I ignored, well, I didn't ignore, I exceeded track limits. I was trying to not exceed track limits, and in the process just got myself a 1 second slowdown penalty. But this is the last lap, and we are 12.7 seconds ahead of the car in second. And as you guys can see here, this is now really where the car started to really step out on me. I didn't know why. I think I was just a little bit too eager on the throttle, and I broke a little bit too late into some of the corners. But you know, I had such a big lead, I could afford to play a bit. But yeah, this car in this game, I think if you just put on the sport soft tires and not the sport hards, it will have a lot better feel to the car. But this car is way too grippy with slick tires, so the sport semi-slick tires are the tire to drive this car on. But in any case, you guys can see I served the slowdown penalty there. We're going to lose some time, but not nearly enough to lose our first position. We've also currently got fastest lap. If you guys look in the middle of the screen on your left, there is a Dirkie. So it's Dirkie with the fastest lap of a 2:04.555, and that is my fastest lap set on lap 2, which you can see on the right hand side of the screen. So guys, this video is literally going to be just me racing in this daily race with the F40, because I started and I couldn't stop myself. And here's when I set myself a goal after the first race. Can I win 5 online races in a row? And a lot of you guys will probably say, well, Turbo, considering your past live streams and how you do on on the F1 game, 5 wins in a row doesn't sound that hard. And that is where I will correct you. Guys, Gran Turismo is a much larger game when it comes to an audience that actually plays the game than the F1 game. Gran Turismo is been worldwide, like a worldwide success since the very late 90s. I mean, this is the 7th game, and it is super popular, it is super intense, and it is just an absolutely amazing game. So there's a lot more people that play online, and some of the people that play this game are stupid fast. As you guys can see there, this is where I also encountered a bit of problems with my controller, because for some other reason my handbrake is mapped to my X button, and for some other reason when I pressed the X button it didn't work. And I had this problem throughout most of the video, so please do excuse that. That is not me trying to jump the start. My handbrake just wouldn't engage no matter how much I pressed the button, and as soon as I pressed the throttle, the car would leap forward, and it's a jump start, and I have to do a 5-second slowdown. So the car, you can put the throttle down flat, the car's not going to go anywhere, it's just rolling forward. But you guys can see, and now there's a little bit of battling. I honestly thought I was going to hit that guy, but luckily the ghosting system in Gran Turismo really is good. So I just ghosted through him, and we're back up to P4 where we started this race. A little bit of contact between me and the Brit in P5. And guys, I'm not going to try and pronounce most of these guys' online names, because some of them have the funkiest and weirdest online IDs. It's just insane. But yeah, so this, like I said, this video is going to be just the daily the weekly/daily F40 race. They call it the daily races in the game, but the races stay on for a whole week. So it doesn't really make sense to my itsy bitsy brain, but we will go with it. I think actually the car that you can use this week is like a Renault Clio RS for the same car daily race. There's always 3. There's one where it's a specific car that everyone uses. a grade 4 and a grade 3. So basically grade 4 and grade 3 means GT4 cars and GT3 cars. And you guys will see in the next 2 Gran Turismo videos that are already edited and ready to post that we do have a little bit of GT4 and GT3 racing, mostly GT4, but it was damn good racing. So also guys, another thing with this game, with it having such a much larger player base than the F1 game, is this game has got a lot more dirty players, like very, very bad sportsmen like driving. So it's sometimes you get into lobbies and there's guys that absolutely don't care. They will do everything in their power to ram and run you off track. And you guys are going to see that, especially in the next video. Yeah, I did some GT4 racing, and yeah, there was one race where they absolutely just obliterated me from start to finish, and it was an 11 or 12 lap race, something crazy like that. So yeah. Another thing is, guys, any suggestions that you guys want to see me do on Gran Turismo, whether it's building crazy cars, you know, doing specific career mode races to give you guys some tips and advice, anything you guys want to see from me on Gran Turismo, please let me know down in the comments. Well, please let me know in the comments on this video what you guys would like to see, and I will get straight to work on to give you guys what you want and what you need. So yeah. But guys, obviously you guys can see now, this is the second race that we're doing. We're currently on lap 3, and this, I think this is a Dutch flag, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, guys, if I get the flags and the nationalities wrong, please just correct me in the comments. But do it nicely. If you don't have anything nice to say, then rather keep your mouth shut or keep your keyboard to yourself. In any case, you guys can see I am clearly the quickest guy currently on track. I've got the quickest lap time. My second lap was a 2-minute 4.1, and I'm the quickest car on track, but I can't seem to get past this guy in the other F40. He runs a bit wide into this left-handed hairpin, and we both get a pretty darn good exit coming out of it, but we're heading into another left-handed hairpin. I'm on the inside. He just closes the door but understeers slightly wide, then comes back onto the racing line and shoves me to the inside as well, not just for the left-hander but for the right-hander as well. And when he did that with the previous corner, the left-hander, he forced me to ignore track limits, and now I've got a half-second penalty. So the next lap around on this very bridge, I'm going to serve that half-second penalty. And here he comes again up the inside into the tunnel. He actually hits me and sends me wide. And as you guys can see, you get some damn dirty drivers. And some of them aren't dirty. Some of them just have no spatial awareness whatsoever. I'm going to try my best to not be hateful towards some of these drivers, but some of these guys really have gotten my blood boiling the past 2 weeks while I've been recording this footage for you guys, because honestly, some guys just don't care. They will just force you off track and ruin your whole race sometimes. And with this game being a lot more endurance centered than like F1, where it's not really endurance, you've got a set amount of laps and that's it. Some of the races on this game you can literally set up a 24-hour race or like a 99 lap race around the Nürburgring. So the thing is, it's much more endurance focused, and some guys just don't care. You have sometimes a very long race online or a very competitive open lobby, and the guys say clean racing, and then there's one guy that comes into the lobby, he runs a few people off track, and then he leaves the lobby, and then he's ruined the people that he's run off tracks race. So you do get the players like that, and if you are one of those Gran Turismo players, please just get lost. I'm asking you very deliciously nice, just get lost. This game has got, when you boot up Gran Turismo 7 for the first time, it was the same thing in the previous game, which was Gran Turismo Sport. There was literally an entire video package of racing etiquette, which shows you what is racing etiquette, how to drive clean, and how to properly race online against other real life drivers on the game. But some people just don't care about that. And the thing is, they literally made the video mandatory because you couldn't skip the video and start racing online unless you finished watching it from the first second to the last. So if you skipped the video, it prohibited you from going onto the online features of the game. You couldn't race online. You could, the game was still online and you could use the normal game features, but as soon as you wanted to race other real life people, it just didn't allow you. You had to watch that video and finish it. So nobody on this game has an excuse to not know how to race cleanly online. But in any case, that's a rant for another day. I've ranted enough about it already. But you guys can see here, this is now what, the third race in a row. We've had a very nice battle with the guy from the Netherlands. We're going to come out on top at the end of the race with a 3.3 second gap. Was this now our second or our third race? I actually can't remember. I've been enjoying talking and chatting to you guys so much that I've completely lost the track of what is happening. The Dutch guy even got a damn 1 second penalty. Don't know how he did that though. But in any case, we move, we digress. Actually, I do know how that happens. It's either exceeding track limits or getting a bit bumpy bargy with either the barriers or another player. So here you guys are finally going to see the fastest lap that I could manage with this F40 in qualifying trim, setting up for the online races. So you guys can see currently I'm still sitting on a 2:07.4. And even though going through the first corner I nipped the barrier on the outside, because I was literally focused on doing just this race because I was having so much fun, I really quickly got to grips with the limits of the F40 at this track. Now this is a fictional track in the Gran Turismo world. I think it's the Nevada Highway, or the Nevada Mountain Pass. There's a lot of real life circuits in this game, but also a few fictional tracks that have been like famous within the Gran Turismo franchise. This track personally I've never driven before, but as far as my knowledge goes, once again, if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the comments. This track was like back in like Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4, and I only started playing the Gran Turismo series from Gran Turismo 5. So there's a few other tracks like Trial Mountain, and there's the special stage Route X, which is like just basically a track where you do top end speed. A bunch of fictional tracks that is literally like famous in this franchise, and they don't exist in real life or on any other game. So it's pretty darn cool. So you guys can see I'm literally just giving you guys an onboard of this absolutely insane lap. This was by far the best lap that I did. I tried a few times to go quicker, couldn't manage it. I was really just on it like a car bonnet. And as you guys can see, this car does not handle the curves well around this track. Not that there are a lot. It's more a sidewalk than a curb because it's a public road. But still, this car does not handle those sidewalks very well, but I still enjoyed myself and made the best of a bad situation. But the time to beat's a 2:07.4, and as we head towards the line at over 250 kilometers an hour, we come across the line and we do a 2-minute 3.987, and we actually, the previous race was race 2, as you guys just saw on screen. This is now race 3. And this race, guys, honestly, this is not my favorite track, I will be 100% honest, but it is a fun track to race road cars at. Race cars like GT3, GT4, and other classes, yeah, not really. Again, you guys can see I jumped the start because my handbrake, my X button didn't properly engage. I get a big smack from behind, obviously not on purpose. Like obviously the guy from behind didn't hit me on purpose, and I wasn't trying to hold him up on purpose. I was serving a penalty, and I think he thought that I would ghost, which I didn't. So that's a fault on the game side. I give the guy in first place a little bump coming out of the corner. I think I actually got a penalty for that, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, I was so frustrated at this stage that my X button didn't work, because I really just wanted to freaking, have a proper getaway like I had in the first race, because this car wasn't the hardest to launch. Now going into the downhill hairpin, I just completely missed my braking point, like completely. And I go wide, but there's so much chaos around me. I'm sure you guys heard on the video itself, there was bumping and barging going on behind me, and most people missed their braking point for that corner. And lo and behold, even though I messed it up as well, I came out in first position, even though currently it says I'm second, because there was literally this Italian driver was ghosting through me the whole damn time. But finally I take the lead. It's about half a second now as we head into the third sector of this beautiful, glorious track. And yeah, this basically, this race from onwards, as soon as I got into a rhythm, I broke away so quickly from the rest of these guys. And because this race was after I set that quick lap, I was so comfortable with this Ferrari, it's not even funny. I was feeling so good. This guy goes for a massive dive up the inside. Luckily he ghosts, otherwise he would have sent me to Narnia. But I just do a quick little switchback, beautiful move, and once again I'm back in the lead through that little chicane, which actually feels pretty darn good if you hit it perfectly. And yeah, we are now 8/10 ahead, almost a second. And guys, look at this. Literally, I go to lap 5. I've got a 13-second lead. And in these last few corners, I tried drifting a bit. This Ferrari does not like it when you do that. So, yeah, that was my mistake. And you guys can see, actually, in race trim, I did a fastest lap of 2 minutes 2.7. Now, don't ask me how I did that. I do not know. Do you think I could get that time in qualifying? No. So that was kind of frustrating, very much frustrating. But like I said, we move, we digress, we deal with it as we can. So third race in the pocket, 3 out of 5. We've only got 2 more to go. And at this stage, guys, I was feeling good. I was feeling so darn good that it wasn't even funny. And I was confident about the 4th and 5th race. But the question is, will we be able to do it? That is a big question, because again, like I said, the racing on Gran Turismo really is tough. It's not the easiest thing to do, and it really takes a toll on you, because sometimes the drivers are so close together, and they really sometimes push you. Like, it's not just that like you get in the lead and you run away, like I did that previous race. Sometimes there's guys that sit on your butt until the literal final lap, and they make their move and you lose the race on the final lap. You get drivers like that. And again, my handbrake didn't engage, so I had a very terrible start. I got hit from behind, and actually in this race, what made me sad is I'm supposed to ghost there, and the guy that hit me got slapped with a 2-second penalty immediately. And for me, that's not fair. Obviously, I didn't mess up on purposely on the start, but the point is, it's still my mistake. And now he gets penalized for my faulty controller, which I didn't feel was fair. But in any case, the guy that got into the lead didn't defend it very well. And we are already into the lead as we get to the hairpin. And this was basically it. There was not really a lot of resistance. Well, there was not really an attacking... what's the word I'm looking for? There was not an attacking attempt from the drivers behind. From here, I literally just broke away. As you guys see, there's already 1.3 seconds just within a few corners. And I absolutely dusted these guys. I was so far ahead. And there was a fellow South African here, if you guys look at P5 currently. So there was another South African in this lobby. And I have to say, racing online, I realized there's actually a fair few South Africans that play this game. So if any of you fellow South Africans are watching my video and you race Gran Turismo, hit me up in the comments. Maybe we build a league together. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So yeah. In any case, we are now coming down the home straight. I got a 1-second penalty on the final lap for exceeding track limits. I overpushed the car a bit. I was trying to figure out how the hell did I manage a 2 minute 2-second lap time the previous race, but I couldn't do it again. So I was over driving the car and I got penalties. But guys, here is the creme de la creme. 4 out of 4, we need 1 more, and finally my handbrake works from pole position, 5 red lights, and it's go for this F40 race. Can we win our 5th race in a row? And guys, literally there was no races in between. These 5 races were literally the 5 races that I did, and it was about 2.5, maybe 3 hours of driving and racing. A lot of fun though, I'm not gonna lie. So you guys see, into the first corner I took a very defensive inside line, and the drivers behind just decide we're going to play circus bumper cars, and they just give me a 1-second lead even before we get to this very fast S section that this F40 with its vintage design and very ungrippy tires does not like. It understeers like a pig through there if you just turn in a little bit too late or you're just a little bit too fast. But in any case, so at the end of lap 1, it's already 2.7 seconds. We're not even completely at the end. We're in sector 3, and I've already got, now it's up to, okay, well, there I hit the wall, so it was almost 3 seconds. It's now 2.7. And so many of the guys behind me, thanks to all their crazy contact, got penalties. So we go into this hairpin in the tunnel, and look at that, 3.7, and this is my problem, lag spike. Keep going. Oh, it wasn't a lag spike. Sorry, guys, that was just my recording getting stuck a bit. Sorry, that was my mistake. That was not a lag spike. But you guys will see in later videos, I also I struggle with lag spikes in any online racing game because there is no South African service for any of the racing games that I play. which is sad. I am a very sad panda now. But in any case, so we are carrying the Ferrari name high, and by lap 4, it's almost a 10-second gap. And guys, I'm just going to take you guys on board for this final lap. I have a terrible run through the final tunnel onto the onto the main straight, but this is where I was like, don't mess it up. If you mess it up now, the thing you actually aimed for is not going to happen. You guys can see I did a 2-minute 12-second lap time, so that was actually a pretty darn terrible lap. I honestly can't remember what happened on that lap. I actually think I went wide at the hairpin, that downhill one after the S section, and yeah, it kind of cost me a lot of time. But in any case, we are now going to try once again and get that famous 202. And as you guys can see through this section, if you get it right, it feels good and it looks good. But you have to start braking so early for this hairpin that you have to start braking while you're still turning left for the final S. So it's kind of tricky, this car around this track, but it's so much fun. Guys, if you have Gran Turismo 7 and you've got a Ferrari F40 and your game is updated with the latest update, this track has been in the game now for about 6 months, maybe even, no, not even that much, I think about 3-4 months. So if you do have this car and this track, get it onto, I would say, sports mediums or sports softs. Don't put it on slicks, but the sport hards just have that little bit too little grip. Get on the mediums or the softs, go on this track and just do a few laps of time trial. You are absolutely going to love it. And you can even do stupid stuff like this and drift around a bit when you get a silly penalty while you were trying to break your own record. So I just decided, I've got such a big gap, I can just have some fun and drift a little bit. But honestly, I highly recommend get in an F40. It's stock standard and nothing upgraded, nothing that funky or anything. Stock standard, just upgrade the tires to sport mediums or sport softs and have a ball, because honestly, this car really feels good around this track. Vintage cars feel so good to drive around this track. There's a few challenges in game as well where you drive vintage cars around this track and it feels absolutely awesome. So once again, highly recommended. But guys, this is where I felt euphoria, because I was so proud of myself and I felt so good. For the first time in about 2 months playing this game online, 5 races, 5 rubber-dubs in a row as we take our 5th win in a row with more than a 10-second gap to Desmo Lucy, or whatever. Yeah, it says Desmo Lucio, the Italian in P2. So yeah, okay, 11.3 seconds as he comes across the line. And let's be fair, I kind of dominated. But what I will tell you guys is that's not how this series is going to be. You guys are going to see me lose a lot. You guys are going to see me not actually dominate everything. I am not the best in the world like some of you guys think. But guys, thank you so much for watching. It's a quick ending. Remember to like, subscribe, ding the bell, and check out the links in the description down below. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys for whatever video comes next. Cheers!